First up is Stefan Boehmer. Stefan. If you can come up, he is a global finance executive with over 25 years of leadership from finance, IT, procurement, supply chain, and project management. He has led major transformations at multinational companies like Siemens and Körber, emphasizing efficiency, integration, and innovation. Stefan is also deeply engaged in AI. He's actually the co-founder of an organization called CAIO Circle, a think tank dedicated to promoting responsible and ethical AI practice, which is increasingly becoming very, very critical. He actively mentors startups, frequently speaks at professional conferences, and contributes to the Transatlantic Trade Task Force of the European American Chamber of Commerce. So, Stefan, please come up and give us your talk.
Thank you, Grant. You are way too kind. Konbanwa, good evening. My name is Stefan Boehmer. I represent Körber Supply Chain. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak to you. I believe tariff might be the word of the year 25. It's hard to see the slides, if you can move forward one. I think we all woke up in March to the announcement of large tariffs, and we tried to figure out what happened. Next slide, please. We manufacture for North America here in Irving, Texas. We have factories in Denmark, Portugal, Germany. We import from all over the world. Most likely you don't know Körber. Every letter you receive is sorted on our equipment. Almost every COVID vaccination is inspected on our equipment. Our customers are Amazon, USPS, Coca-Cola, Novo Nordisk, all the big companies. So supply chain and tariffs is critical for us. The current landscape looks easy. 25% tariff from Canada and Mexico, unless it's within the free trade agreement. 10% tariff from rest of the world, unless it's China, we have 30%. It looks easy, it is not. First, we have additional tariffs on automobile parts, 25%, fentanyl. We have additional tariffs on steel and aluminum. Next slide, please. When we learned that the tariff from China was 145%, we stopped shipments. We suspended orders, we delayed shipments. We calculated for us a tariff of 60% is a break-even point from China, looking at the cost and the landed cost, including shipping. So all alarm bells went off with 145%. Once the tariff was announced for 30% for the next 90 days, we expedited shipments. 90 days, we need 5 to 6 weeks for the transport, so we have 5 to 6 weeks to get the material produced and on the board. It's a challenge, we live in the supply chain. You hear 145%, next slide please. Unfortunately, it's not so easy. It's a HTS code. Each material has an HTS code. The HTS code and the country of origin defines the tariff. So we buy from China. I looked at the bill from customs, we pay 170% duties. Not 145 because we have various tariffs applying. Other parts, 55, 58% tariff. Sub-assemblies have different tariffs and material. Different exceptions apply. It's very difficult to calculate when you don't have an easy way 145%. To make matters worse, we have suppliers that send without HTS code with the wrong one, or even if we believe it's the right HTS code, customs overrides it. So in the end, we never know what's the true landed cost. Tariff stacking is another topic. We have multiple tariffs. They are not added up, they are applied one after the next. Meaning if you have two tariffs with 50%, you don't pay 100%, you pay 50%, and then 50% of that amount, meaning 125%. Makes it really confusing. Economic uncertainty. If you review the surveys, we are currently in a phase of economic uncertainty. We had a similar phase around COVID. If you have economic uncertainty, you need to move away from strategic decisions to operational decisions. How do I get my material here tomorrow? How do I limit the tariffs I pay? Next slide, please. Favorite topic for me. We use steel. We use a lot of steel. When the tariff was announced, 25%, in February, steel price went up 30%. We only import a little bit over 20% of our steel demand. Still, the prices for all steel went up 30%. So once the tariff was announced to 50%, we were scared, concerned, but the steel price actually dropped. So here you see also the impact of demand. In February, March, with all the investments going on, talk about data centers, big companies investing, steel was in demand. Right now we see a weakening demand, so steel price is dropping. From a tariff point of view, this is very difficult to predict and to calculate the landed cost again. We work with hedging, we work with index numbers in our contracts. Nevertheless, if we think that's bad, if we go to the next slide, the steel price was much worse during COVID. So these fluctuations happen, it's part of doing business, you have to deal with it. Coming back to my HTS codes. Next slide. What are the challenges? HTS codes. Suppliers don't put them on, don't put the right one on, customs overrides it. We need to get a handle on that to understand what HTS codes to use and also to understand what makes more sense. If I import from Portugal, the material has 10% tariff. If I import a sub-assembly, it's 0% tariff. Maybe it makes sense to manufacture a little bit there and import the sub-assembly. You need scenarios, you need to be planning towards. You need to understand what different opportunities do you have. Does it make sense to shift from one country to the other country? What's your benefit? The duty stacking and the calculation complexity we talked about. We don't have one duty, we have several duties under different legal requirements which will be added. In the end, it's inventory management. You buy on stock, you try to mitigate it. You need part urgent, you try to expedite it. It's a challenge. On top of that, you have customs delays. We had major discussions in the beginning to get our items cleared. We are now at a point where customs charges us a tariff directly from our account, so we get our material. If we don't like the charge, we can dispute it, but it's a first round, we have to pay for it. I truly believe that's where we see AI and software solutions to mitigate the challenges. Next slide. HTS code classification. It's a simple tool. There are software companies out that propose the right HTS code based on the material description in the picture, and also learns what customs decides. If you see customs overrides one part frequently, you might want to change the HTS code or look for alternate solutions. It's very disappointing if you get a shipment for 2 million, you pay 1.2 million or something in tariffs. It's significant. One of the tools I like here is Thomson Reuters compliance software. It's a market leader, and if you can integrate that, it's a good example how you get a better classification of HTS codes. We, like many companies, had neglected that in the past. Was a data field in SAP. Now we pay the price. Next slide. Calculation of duty. It's another idea for software. How can I create scenarios? How can I calculate landed cost? Looking at different opportunities, does it make sense to shift production, to move to sub-assemblies, or what cost do I have to assume for customer contracts? If we talk now with customers on our side, customer says any current tariffs you have to put into price. It's very challenging if you don't know your cost. One example here is Flexport. It's really a tool for landed cost calculation, updated frequently with all the tariff changes. One more slide. Inventory planning is pretty much standard. You have many tools in the market. So I have not listed here several tools, but one example is LlamaSoft. LlamaSoft predicts your inventory levels and it accounts for possible delays in customs. Interestingly, Kuba bought LlamaSoft. Just recently came the announcement out, so the big players realize the benefit of these software tools. So from my point of view, it's the right time to look at the software solutions. I got the question earlier, why is it AI-based? Because the tools are learning. You don't have to repeatedly submit the same information. It also learns from customs decisions. It can also give you warnings that you might get disputes. So from my point, as I said, it's a great opportunity to investigate tools to simplify our life, especially if you're manufacturing with international trade. All right, I'm looking forward to your questions. And I believe it's time for the panel.
Thank you, Stefan. I'd like to invite